This is What Did I Miss? Coming fresh off of a triathlon. My two friends, Paige and Gabe. Wait, Gabe, did you do it or just Paige?
Oh, yeah, I did it.
What was your time? What is a good time for a triathlon?
I don't know. They haven't posted it yet. Here's what I can tell you. Yeah, I finished. I was pleased. I didn't hurt anything.
Okay.
And then I saw Paige completing, and she also did great. And then I had all the beers I could find, and I woke up and I feel fine.
I mean, that's okay. Can I do it next year? I want to do it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
sweet. I would like to do it. I don't like to train much, but I feel like winging it's really been my strength. So, anywho, let's do I mean, I know how to swim, I know how to run, I know how to ride a bike. What else do I need?
Check.
Right,
You're
check,
good.
check. Yeah, okay, so then we're good to go. This has been week 2. Well, in fairness, week 2 football actually ends after the Monday night games, of which we have 2 this week for reasons I don't care to even look into. It's fine.
Money.
But what a weekend of football. J-E-T-S.
Yeah. Jets.
They're back, baby!
Joe Flacco's back. Joe Flacco.
He is elite and always
elite.
was. Can't believe we argued that for 17 years. Guys, that, by the way, not even the only game that ended in just like a whoosh, but the one that I think had the best happy heart smiley feels because of being the Jets. I think we all like the coach of the Jets. And I think we can all agree, especially after the photographs that have emerged out of Cleveland, Ohio this past weekend, of moronic fans doing what they probably think are adorable, witty, and fun things, that the Browns and the Browns fans can all go to hell. So anytime that a team beats the Browns...
Wait, what did the Browns fans do? I missed that.
Well... So one of the cute things I saw was a massage table with a mannequin and a little towel around its ween area. And it said that happy endings are not illegal. You know, taking it seriously and whatnot. Showing the kids how to be role models and functional adults in society. Yeah, this has just ugly flashbacks to when women were walking around in Ray Rice jerseys. And I just was like, what are you doing? And no offense, Gabe. I expect it from men. I really do. I think male sports fans are some of the biggest knuckle-dragging mouth breathers that exist, which is fine. But when I see women doing things like this about crimes or assaults or allegations, whatever it is you need to call it, that involve women being victims, I just don't understand who you are and who raised you. Like, it's gross. If you don't have anything good to say, shut up. Just shut up. And there's over there smiling, taking pictures. Oh, I hate everybody. Anywho, I don't want it to shit on it.
You know what this makes me think
really
of?
Well,
Halloween costumes are going to be bad this year, aren't they?
Oh, they are going to be all. Well, we're going to have a lot of Queen stuff probably, but we can get to that.
But hold
later.
on. This is the Jets
Queen.
sort
I was
of.
thinking the band.
The joke is on the people who put that mannequin out in the parking lot because you're right. Happy endings are legal. The Jets just had a happy ending all over your stupid team. They never should have won that game. The Jets jetsed somebody else. It was incredible.
It was awesome. It was a shocker. Like, Red Zone is what lives in this house on Sundays, and Red Zone was busy yesterday, especially in the fourth quarter. Like, it was just chaos. Cardinals, Raiders, like it. To me, the Jets game's my favorite for sentimental reasons. But was there anything that stood out to you yesterday? We had Niners, which I think a lot of people thought perhaps we would see Garoppolo this season, but not in week 2. I did not have an injury putting Trey Lance out for the season on my bingo card, which is unfortunate. That's not how I saw this playing out. So that one was tough. But Jimmy G is almost sometimes too dumb and pretty. He just comes in smiling. Just like, let's do this, Jimmy G time. And I don't have anything bad to say. He's just too pretty. And then Tom Brady. Tom Brady. The gift that kept on giving yesterday. Gabe, did you watch the Saints-Bucks game at all?
No, I didn't. I can summarize it, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, Tom Brady sucked for 3 quarters.
Sure.
Then he threw a couple temper tantrums.
Yeah, he did.
Picked a fight he couldn't finish himself. Needed the whole team to step in and keep him away from that.
Yeah, totally.
And the defense made a play, bailed him out. He won the game, and then he wouldn't address any questions about everything else going on. Pretty much every day of Tom Brady's life.
And by the way,
bailed out by everyone else.
Bailed out by everyone else. But all of this also came on the heels of us learning, as the viewing public, that he's now been given Wednesdays off every week as well. So Tuesdays, Wednesdays off.
Yeah.
Came into, and I don't know if you've seen the footage of him walking into the stadium in like a sweat outfit kind of thing, but I've never seen a more miserable face on a just, you have to wonder, like, why not just stop? Like, why not quit? You're spiritually quit. You're kind of halfway there physically. You look emaciated. Like, I don't, like, what are we doing? Your legacy, dude. Why is it ending like this? It's such a weird way to end things. And as far as starting a fight he couldn't fit, he was never going to. He's like the rich kid who says a bunch of crap, and then everybody else has to come in and pick it up for him. And now perhaps Evans will be suspended for a game. Yeah, it was the most exciting part of that game. I will say that. Up until that point, it was 3-3, and the most boring thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Thank you, Red Zone, so I didn't have to watch the whole thing. But before that fight, it was a garbage game. So, I don't know. Paige, you missed all of football yesterday? Like, how does the triathlon work with the schedule of the footballs?
Well,
you missed everything?
Pretty much. Because, I mean, yeah, the answer is yes. I forgot that being on the West Coast means that football starts so much earlier. So I finished after football had already started. And then by the time you, mill around, eat some food, Gabe had to go coach Little League. And then it's like an hour drive back to Marina from Malibu. So I missed quite a lot. And then I had to have beers.
You did miss a lot. I've heard people today saying that the guys that came in to pick up the slack, Evans, Leonard Fournette, that they're like the badasses of the day. And I feel like I disagree. I think that when you find out that your quarterback, and I don't care who he is at this point, because I was willing to give him some slack. Like, I wasn't on the whole 11-day missing of training. It is what it is. But now it's just so much more than that. So when you find out that now not only is he not been in training camp for 11 days, he's not necessarily crushing, and he's taking another day off each week for the rest of the season, like, I feel like I've got some internal resentment building at this point. And so it was the perfect storm of this history between Evans and Lattimore, and it just a game that was garbage to watch in the first place. It just had this perfect scenario. I mean, Evans is trying to say, like, hey, that's Tom Brady, what do you want me to do? But I genuinely feel like the anger that we saw wasn't necessarily towards the Saints. I think there's some internal stuff going on there. And there has to be, right?
Spicy.
Has to be.
I want to agree with you, Beads, but I actually think that the way that we have all covered the NFL for the last 20 years, the players have even internalized this mythology of Tom Brady in a way that I actually think they believe that he is different and that they will grant him exceptions that I think we've seen pretty clearly. Like, they won't give Kyler Murray. I think his teammates were like, this guy, what the... But with Tom Brady, it seems like they're just like, I don't know, man. I don't know how he does it. I don't care what he does, but he's Tom Brady. We're just going to let him be.
But that has to run out. Like, it's all good and fun when you're winning Super Bowls.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
A little bit, yes. But can we agree that this is taking steps now? Like, what I saw yesterday, the dude I saw yesterday, I would tell, if I didn't know anybody, I'd say just retire. Like, just finish it. Like, what do we do? Because it's not right. And I don't like to say it's not fair. We're adults. But it is not right to not be in it wholeheartedly. You're wasting an entire season for an entire team, an entire organization, and an entire fan base for your own selfish, weird reasons that I don't personally care about anymore. So why? What is the point? If you're only half-assed in it to begin with, then just do the right thing and leave. You've got a $300 million deal waiting for you. Just go. Go.
But that's where I'm confused.
Like,
didn't he come back because he loves football so much and he wants to be in it fully?
The dude I saw yesterday does not love football.
But even the rest day thing is interesting because we spend so much time talking about how he's this, or by his own doing, this perfect specimen of health, right? I don't eat strawberries or whatever the fuck. But then you need an extra rest day. It's kind of like, which is it? Are you old and decrepit and you don't care? Or are you fully in and that's why you came back and you are taking a personal day. It seems like it's one or the other, but we're saying it's both.
Well, I think it's, or as was, I mean, I had Elsie Granderson, friend of the show, was here yesterday, and we were talking about it. Or is it just that so you have 2 days each week where you're full-time dad? Like, what is all of this
If that's
mean?
the case, why couldn't you say that? Like, what's wrong with that? You've earned the right in a lot of ways to be like, look, I'm in this, but I also have this going on. I don't know.
Well, let's deep dive real quick, Paige. Gabe,
Okay,
you're gonna speak for all men.
Okay, Gabe's having.
Do you
Feel good about this.
Do you think that the reason that he will not walk away fully, but is half-ass walking away, basically in the middle of the season, do you think at this point it is because that we all now know about the marital strife that's going on, that Giselle has all but checked out, having said she's done everything she could, did her part, yada, yada, and that now if he were to simply just walk away, it's sort of like he thinks we're going to look at him as like, your wife's got him. She's got him in the jar. Which, by the way, for the record, I already assumed that.
Yeah.
Okay? But do you think he thinks that? That walking away all the way makes it look like he's weak?
Weak isn't the word I would use. I think that it's more mathematical than that. Less emotional, more mathematical. I think, not knowing anything, that these are two incredibly... They're big brands, both of these people.
Yeah.
So just take their normal human interactions and emotions out of this. There's a lot to protect. They each represent like a little mini economy.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the people who live off that economy are probably weighing in on what the right or wrong thing to do is. And I think that the analysis is that the brand takes a hit if they have a very messy, public, emotional kind of thing out there, which is why I think you've seen so much effort to try to tamp it down and contain it. So I don't know what they feel about each other.
Have we
It's none of my
seen that,
business.
though?
I don't actually care.
Yeah, I feel like,
If anything,
Would it
it's
really-
like cranked up.
we are members of the consuming public. Would it really matter to any of us if it was just an ugly old breakup and then everybody moved on? Like,
I
and
don't
for the
know,
record,
but
2 hours of my conversation last night with people in this house was, who does Tom and who does Giselle date next? That's literally what we talked about for 2 hours.
that's a fun conversation to have
It
on
really
this
was.
show one day.
Yeah.
But no, here's what I'm getting at. I think when you're dealing with people this famous, I honestly think that like they're focus grouping and Q scoring them. Maybe I'm overanalyzing this, but like I bet you that there's somebody on who works for Tom Brady can show him how he scores with middle-aged women. And like he knows, almost like a politician. Which, by the way, let's not rule out the fact that Tom Brady may run for office one day.
Sweet Jesus.
That's a possibility.
Okay.
I don't think that he really wants to be seen as like that typical athlete who like, screws around on his wife, especially an accomplished, beautiful woman like Giselle.
You
I don't
mean
think
like
he wants
he's
that
not
on
the
him.
type of guy who leaves his pregnant baby mama for a supermodel? Not that kind of guy. That
You
guy's
said that.
awful. That guy's awful.
I'm just saying, I
Would
think he's
he-
grown up to become a business and he understands it doesn't look great.
I guess so.
And
I mean,
I
I
don't
don't
know
doubt.
anything
By the way,
about it.
I don't doubt what you're saying. You are right. I mean, they are two mini economies. But I feel like if you are the high level PR firms that are basically involved in this entire situation, I think some of that damage was already done when you retired and unretired. But unfortunately, you can't put that toothpaste back in the tube. So now it's just like, it just seems like everything that's been done since that has not been what I would consider high level PR quality work.
Okay.
It just seems real sloppy. Like this has all seemed really sloppy to me. But I don't know. And like, I guess I just don't care. I mean, I assume marriages don't last. So for me, okay, cool, move on. But I don't doubt what you're saying, especially with Tom Brady. Like his entire brand has been curated, even with his sort of introduction onto social media. Like none of that's organic and spontaneous. It's all very thought out,
But it's been effective.
Personally, his body language it's something. It's something to watch. They luckily won, but it's I don't know.
Our buddies, we got some friends who really know football inside and out, and they talk about it much smarter than I can. But as our resident football analyst
Yeah, you're
for the
our
last
guru.
two or 3 weeks here,
Yeah.
Congrats.
I do think there's also like a real football point here, which is that obviously he's old, but he's stayed in good shape. But like, to quote our buddy Colin Cowherd, quarterback needs a little pudding. You need a little extra on
What?
you.
Yeah.
Josh Allen's got pudding.
Little oof.
Tom Brady's always had some pudding. And when you start losing the pudding, when you start to look like a guy like me, a 40-year-old guy who's doing triathlons and not drinking beer, and you're like getting a little too skinny and like just kind of shove that guy over, that ain't good, man. I can't play quarterback. He can't look like me.
Well, but he also is highly protected more than most in this league. Like, you touch him, apparently you are kicked out of the NFL forever. So he's got that going for him. Like,
but he needs the pudding back.
Yeah, I don't think he's getting the pudding back. I really don't. I don't know where the pudding would come from. Unless he wants to hang out with me and we just eat fruit roll-ups and crackers for the rest of his life. I can help him. No, I don't know, Paige. I'm sorry, Paige. Did you have anything else to add?
Pudding. No, I don't. I'm just
sinking into my chair. Pudding is... No, he's right. And Colin's right. Colin's always right.
Good job, Colin.
Good job, coward. Flashbacks. Yeah, so that was the football that was... I feel like I'm missing... Well, the Cooper Rush era, obviously. We all got merch coming, don't worry. But I feel like, what else am I missing? I feel like there's one other game that was gigantic that I'm drawing a blank. Oh,
you hit on the Cardinals coming back. That was wild. I was literally composing a text saying, does this mean we don't have to talk about Cliff Kingsbury and the Cardinals anymore? That would be like 8 weeks ahead of average.
Yeah.
And then they pulled that comeback and Kyler made him relevant.
Now let me ask you this. Did Cliff Kingsbury have anything to do with it?
No, I don't believe that he did.
Okay, fair enough. Just want to make sure we're on the same page. Can I give you guys one piece of fantasy football information from this weekend
please.
that I'm kind of proud of?
Please.
What if I told you that in one of the leagues I'm in, I sat both Tua and Lamar Jackson?
Oh.
And I am still going to double up the score of the person I'm playing by 300 points. Would you say that I'm a genius?
No, I would say, what idiots are in this league?
I don't know. I have
How do you have both of them and a third option that's better?
Because what happened yesterday was when Kamara was out for sure, I did a little insurance at the last second, and then I'm gonna switch it all back, and I grabbed Tua because he was available, and then I was like, I'll just leave Derek Carr in, and I wasn't gonna play Lamar because I thought he had kind of a weakish week one, and so but dude, I've still doubled up over 300 points ahead, and there's no way this guy's coming back. He has one guy left, and I have one guy left. No chance.
Are you thinking next week you just buy that fourth quarter as the real Tua and just plug him in, see what happens?
I don't know, because that was incredible. Yesterday was insane to watch, and especially from my perspective, because I was laughing the whole time. I'm like, are these two really doing this right now? It was like really good to watch, but I was also losing by a lot at that moment, and I thought, I'm an idiot. But yeah, maybe. I don't know. I've got a choice now. Not sure what I'm going to do. I just want to point out I'm a genius at fantasy football without even trying.
You really are quite good at it.
Thanks,
I got to admit something to you guys, and I'll probably get into this more with some football dorks later in the week. They'll try to talk me out of it. I think I'm joining Tuanon. I think I'm there. I think I'm buying what the Dolphins are selling.
Hold on.
I like the coach.
Yeah,
I believe
let's
in
go
the
back
not a
to
Jets
quarterback.
fan then.
For a sec.
We're not going to be Jets fans again.
I told you I was always like toe in. I can't
No,
go
but
all.
this is
I can't
worse
get back
than
in.
that. This is like, not only are you not, but now you're going to like one of the dark sides.
It's not the Patriots.
Well, no one's going to the Patriots anytime soon.
No, I like what the Dolphins are doing, and I'm kind of rooting for the players on that team because they've been through so much BS with their owner and the firing of the old coach, and I want to see something good happen there.
They've got great uniforms if you want to be really in depth about it.
Yep.
Look, I don't blame you. I don't know if it's long lasting. I mean, yesterday was definitely crazy and fun to watch, but for your sake, I hope it works out.
You know what it is, Beads? And Paige's keyboard. I just want to mention to both of you.
You can't mute a keyboard, dipshit.
Well, no, I tried. Oh my god. Okay, sorry.
Is it a keyboard or is it a typewriter? What are you typing on over there?
It's a typewriter.
Okay.
Wah wah wee wah is all I have to say to that. No, sorry. Go ahead. About the Dolphins.
I think I want to know what you feel about this. I kind of have this feeling like all these draft analysts and experts who tell us who is good or who isn't good, who ignore like the sniff test every year. I kind of want them to all go screw. And I just want guys who win by looking like they're good at football in the college to just be the guys who become the good football players in the NFL. And let's stop with all the other Oh, let's go pick some random ass guy from North Dakota State because his arm length is really like. Who gives a shit? 201 like every game he ever played. Why are we betting against him?
I mean, we really were. We were for a while. I don't want to be that person that's like, it's happening. But yesterday was definitely, and I think that they've done a good job, the coach, starting with the coach in the offseason this year, of like kind of boosting him up, right? I would imagine self-esteem's all wonky, especially for a guy like Tua, where you're told you suck and then you're going to replace you, whatever. And I think they spent a really good amount of time during this offseason of publicly sort of boosting his confidence. And, I can't help but think that helps a little bit. Now that your coach has your back and all that helps. All of that has to help. And if not, then you're broken. So I don't know what to say.
And talk about fantasy. He is like the 2 greatest fantasy receivers of all time.
I have one of them, hence my doubling up. Genius.
Nice work.
I don't know where Matthew Berry is these days. Of course I know where he is, but he's crushing. But I might take his place because it turns out I'm a savant. And I didn't even know it until this season. So, not to toot my own horn. We'll take a break.
You ready? You got to give yourself a little rest after all this.
Well, I'm getting a lot
stuff.
of interview requests for my fantasy knowledge.
Yeah.
So we'll take a quick break. And when we come back, let's just, we're going to pump up one college team and as a result, kind of make fun of another. And it'll be fun for everybody. We'll be back. As you gear up for fall, you need the right people on your team to help your small business fire on all cylinders. LinkedIn Jobs is here to make it easier to find the people you want to talk to faster and for free. Create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 810 million people. Then add your job in the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile and spread the word that you're hiring so your network can help you find the right people to hire. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/Beadle. That's linkedin.com/Beadle to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. We're back, baby. Paige is still here. It's a good sign. Gabe?
Yeah.
What else did we as a nation miss?
Are we sure Paige is still here?
No, we're
Paige,
not
can
sure.
you give us a just proof of life here? Are you with us?
Hold up a
with
newspaper
you.
from today. Oh, that works. Okay.
Oh,
I
great.
don't.
All
A
right.
newspaper.
No.
Yeah, I just want to prove.
Yep, she's gone. Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's keep it going.
Glad we tech checked live for you on the air. I will go ahead and start out with things you might have missed, Beadle. If Paige joins us here in 2022, she can take on some of the future stories.
Goodness gracious.
App State, they're on fire. So they had the big upset, and then they hosted College Game Day.
Yeah, they
and
did.
then they won on the craziest Hail Mary, buzzer beater win of the year. Everything's going right in App State. Best sign at the Game Day fair was this one. It says, the only ATM that lets you withdraw $1.5 million. Texas A&M, their logo looks like it says ATM. So, bravo, App State and Texas A&M, have some.
Have some. Appalachian State I didn't see that coming. I didn't see the Cinderella story of college athletics being so early in football and it being them. And I'm really happy for them. And that sign is chef's kiss.
Yeah.
It's perfection.
That's perfect.
Yeah, how do you not root for them at this point? I am. I'm rooting for them. What else? Oh, God, I'm scared.
Paige, you want to give this one a try?
Here goes. Yep, here goes. Just want to say I'm in a hotel. Hotel internet is better than my home internet, but we'll go for it. Okay. One game that I did watch a little bit of last night was the Packers, or last evening was the Packers-Bears game, which was sort of a lackluster game after all the craziness we talked about. But after Aaron Jones scored, he sipped some tea with his teammates, an alleged reference to the ayahuasca journey of the offseason for Aaron Rodgers. Is this the perfect touchdown celebration? Is this the leader in the clubhouse right now in this season?
I don't know. Actually, I saw that and I did not realize that it was a reference to the ayahuasca. And I know all about the story and all that. So maybe it's not as clear as, unless I'm the only one that didn't get the reference.
It came later, I think, on the internet.
Feels like
People
he
were
probably had to
"Hold
tell
on
a
second."
reporter,
Yeah.
like, that's what I was doing, and then let them tell the story.
Yeah, I don't think it's as clear as maybe one would like it to
Maybe
be.
maybe they were
and
honoring
based on
the
that
queen.
alone, that's probably what it
English
was.
tea.
Actually. It was that. It was that.
Could have been that.
That funeral's
Could've
still
been.
going, by the way.
It's never stopping
It's like a week and a half
in our
long.
lifetime.
It's kind of insane. It really is.
Yeah, I was saying this morning, I didn't realize the Queen's funeral worked like Hanukkah. Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How many nights of this are there?
No, I think it ended. I want to say she's now in her spot next to her husband. Like, that's it. But they were I got up at 5:40 this morning. They were marching when I left the house. They were marching when I got back at 9. Like, it was just a long, long day. And there were a lot of kids. It's like, that can't be easy to keep those little rugrats quiet. But, I don't know. I don't get it.
By the way, speaking of kids and the Packers from a second ago, Beadle, or Paige rather, didn't share this, but Paige watched the Packers game with my son.
What?
Who was rooting for the Packers.
Okay, fair.
And somebody else who was there said they were rooting for the Bears. So
Didn't like
I had to put him down, I don't know, halftime, let's call it.
But I was like, what?
He was like, you got to tell me, not put him down, put him to sleep. Thank you. I don't know. For listeners
Like,
who don't have
that's
kids
extreme.
yet, that's a totally normal thing to do. You put them down in their bed. He woke up this morning, first thing, he called me. I wasn't at home. He called me, and he said, who won the game? I said, the Packers. Good job. He said, that's great. Hey, can you let that guy know that the Bears lost?
Dang!
Don't worry, I'll tell him. I'll let him know. So, Hank, you just got served by my 4-year-old son.
Eat some, Hank.
Don't root for the Bears in front of him.
God, I love that. I love that. That was the first thing he thought of when he woke up.
Spiteful.
Oh, God, we got a real sports fan on our hands, ladies
Just
and gentlemen.
woke up, was like,
Mo
good,
asked-
my team won and his team lost.
Anyone that walked in that door, it was, are you watching football? By the way, football's just on, so we're all watching football. And it was like, who are you rooting for? And it would be like, if it was the Packers, he'd be like, I'm rooting for the Packers. Like, he didn't actually care what you said. He just wanted to tell you who he was rooting for. It was perfect. And then he would say
Wait, is that
things
his
like,
team or just yesterday?
no, he just picked a team.
No, we pick a team in every
to root
game.
for.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
that. Makes it
It
interesting.
was great.
God, I love it. Now I'm like, okay, we're not rooting for the Bears. That's actually adorable, and I love it so much. But no, for your answer is no, it's not the perfect touchdown celebration because we didn't really know what it was. So no, can't be
Yeah. Okay.
by definition.
All right. Next one, pop quiz. The Las Vegas Aces, led by WNBA MVP Aja Wilson,
Yeah.
won the WNBA Finals.
Yes, they did.
Aja asked fans to show up to the parade A, 2 shots deep, B, 3 shots deep, or C, 4 shots deep.
I believe it's 4.
You're going
But I
with
also,
4.
I think it's 4, but like kids were supposed to take, I forgot how many shots of ginger ale. Or was it 4 for everybody? Shit, I don't know.
Well, what's funny is you seem to know something about this story, which means you did not miss it. I don't know the answer because I just read word for word
It's
what
4.
I saw on paper.
It's 4.
It's 4. Oh, she was hilarious in the post-game press conference. It's Vegas. Like, there are going to be people who don't even know there's a parade going on who are 12 shots deep, just happen to be standing there when they pass by. But she was hilarious. Becky Hammond, can we get a shout out? First year coaching.
Nice job.
Boom. Let's get it done. Highest paid coach in WNBA, first time out, championship. I mean, setting the bar a little high. I would like to start a little bit lower and then build up, but that's not how Becky does things. So, well done.
I mean, she came
risk
into a
of
stacked
asking
team
the
also.
Shut up, Paige.
Sorry, I'm just
Future
saying.
female NBA coach at some point.
Chelsea Gray is incredible.
Well, but
Asia
all right, so
Wilson
I'm sorry
is
to-
like 2-time WNBA MVP.
Yeah,
Gabe,
no, it's a good
continue.
team.
I didn't
Go on.
realize her name was pronounced Asia. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
I pronounced it the way I thought it was
You're
said.
dead to us.
Yeah, I know. And so now let me further be the dude in the conversation.
Great.
You brought it up, Beadle. Obviously, winning the WNBA championship is a huge deal.
Sure.
Good for Becky. But I think the question will always be, because of the time she spent around Pop, will she coach in the NBA?
Yes.
So
100%.
winning a championship in the sport you coach has to mean something. Like,
I think so. I always thought that this entire plan was because we're all look, Pop was even there, I think, last week in the locker room doing like a pep talk, and there's no secret, like he loves Becky. There's a mutual respect there. I always thought that the plan was this opportunity came for her. He wasn't quite ready to step down anyways. And I think, and by the way, I don't know anything. I just feel this. He said to her, go do this. Go put this on your resume. Go crush the WNBA. When I'm ready, I'll let you know, blah, 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 and then come back. And I still think 100% she will be coaching in the NBA. I just think this is part of her process.
Well, it becomes almost impossible to tell her no if she wins as the head coach at the other professional version of this sport. I mean,
yeah, she just went in and crushed it. Whatever her team is paid, she still did. And from all accounts, the players love her. Like, there's just a really good vibe coming out of that whole situation. So, yeah, I still think she will be I hope she's the first one, but it doesn't matter to me as long as she is one and that becomes something.
Well, and I think it's not a slight against the current sort of older players in the league, but I think like veteran guys would probably still be like, a woman coach? What would that be like? Not that they'd be opposed, but they just wouldn't seem comfortable or familiar. I think young guys now, the guys coming into the league now, would just be like, yeah, whatever, okay, she's a good coach.
Yeah,
like I think that we've just progressed to that point.
We've seen a few. We saw a few during the draft whose moms are coaches at different levels, and they're just, to them, it's neither here nor there. It's just good coach is a good coach. And I think you're right. I think a lot of things in society hopefully will become better and more accepted as we sort of die out the older generations.
We put them down.
I don't mean literally die. I mean, some cases, sure. But yeah, just sort of as the youth becomes more and more prevalent, I think certain things will also just become more quote unquote normal, if you will. Go on.
Well, we already talked about her.
R.I.P.
Can you hear me?
Oh. Yeah, perfectly.
Oh, great. Okay, you guys keep pausing for me, but I'll keep going. So we already talked about her. R.I.P. Queen Elizabeth.
We were just showing our respect for the Queen. We were pausing for you.
Just like...
It's just a nice moment of silence before this topic.
I mean...
showing our respects, just like, did you see David Beckham waited in line for 12 hours to pay his respect to the Queen? Eventually, that queue got up to a 24-hour wait before they had to close it. There's been a lot written about it and talked about it, but wanted to get your thoughts on
the queue.
Bex waiting in line in the queue.
Well, I'm excited for the series that Netflix is inevitably going to do called The Queue. We're going to hear about all the stories that came out of that.
Dystopian thriller.
Yeah, he did. He talked about. He was just very Peaky Blinders. Mad respect for that. But I mean, he talked about it. He was given obviously the opportunity to jump the line and refuse because he comes from a long line, starting with I think his grandfather of royalists. So he did it what he thought they would have appreciated, which was stand in line for 12 hours. He actually thought that going at 2 a.m. would be like quick. I do find that funny. But yeah, look. I'll never understand this. That's as honest as I can be. I'll never get it. And that's fine. I've accepted. Waiting in line for anything is just crazy to me, but like 12 hours. Maybe I'm soulless. I don't know, but that's a lot. 12 hours is a lot. Like I'll text you guys 12 hours from now and just imagine we were waiting in a line that entire time. Imagine it.
No, that's a pass. Most of the time when you wait that long, you get an iPhone at the end of the wait.
Right?
You know?
A pair of shoes, something.
Tickets to Star Wars. I mean, anything.
It is, and it's just to pay your respects. And it continued through the weekend, as we were talking earlier, through today. All the networks were there all morning long. It's a lot. You know what would be interesting is if, well, first of all, the 8 gentlemen, and they're very young boys, that have to carry the casket for what seemed like hours today, up and down stairs. I was like, that's too much pressure. Like, you can't be that guy that F's that up, right? But also, what if the Queen, in her final days, was like, hey, can we just skip the whole pomp and circumstance? I just want like a party in my honor. Just boom, boom, I'm done. But then you guys just... And then they did this anyways. Because this is tradition on another level that we don't have anything even remotely comparable to. Hours and days. Hours and days.
I think even if she said that, it's not up to her. Like they like practiced this shit for like years and years. Like this has been planned for 30 years or more, forever.
I don't care I don't care about your bloody plans. This is what if she wanted? I mean, I don't think she wanted that. By the way, I think she was very comfortable in the tradition. Man, all right.
But arguably, like this is all that they're there for. Is this the excuse to do this kind of thing?
Mm-hmm. But nothing about this is fun. Like, just no.
I know, but the only argument I've ever heard, because believe me, I've spent a lot of time in England. I've even debated the merits of a monarchy still existing, even in name. The argument you hear back is they're very good for the economy. There's value in having this imagery.
I have heard this argument, but I've also heard the argument that now, because people aren't doing as well financially as one would like, and she's gone and Charles is the dude, and he is not loved the same way, even remotely, that this could be a very interesting time in the culture, because there's a rising voice of we're done, which I
certainly think the empire, the Commonwealth, I think is like, this seems like a good breaking point, guys.
Right? It's like
We're
a good end.
here.
It's a clean end.
Yeah, like I think in London, you're still going to see all the stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're going to see that in Barbados any longer.
I always forget. They've got a lot of places. They got a lot of places. We could ask Jerome. We'll have Jerome in later on as our, just kidding. There's no segment on this at all. We would die. Yeah. New money. Okay. So may she rest. Anything else?
We had some more sports stuff, didn't we? Channing, I don't know if this is sports here. I'm going to give this one a blind read also.
This is a key
Channing
question.
Tatum confirms.
Yes, okay. I'm in. I'm already in. Go.
I'm sorry, let me go back to word for word then. Okay. Quoting directly. Channing Tatum confirms that there will be a third and final Magic Mike movie, Magic Mike's Last Dance.
Damn right.
And will be released in theaters February 10th, 2023, the same weekend as the Super Bowl.
Hell yeah.
Which would you rather go see?
Oof. Depends. Who's in the Super Bowl?
Nope.
What do you mean?
You know what's in Magic Mike's Last Dance. You don't know who's in the Super Bowl.
All I can say is I went to the premiere of Magic Mike Dose.
Okay.
And it was one of those fancy Hollywood premieres. And the fancy people that were all dressed beautifully were losing their minds. It was like being at a strip club with a bunch of famous people. I had so much fun. And these movies are just... when I'm in Vegas, I go see it, not because I'm like some horn dog. It's just fun. Like, it's just a funny show, and women go to strip clubs differently than men. This is all science. We don't have to talk about it. But, oof. I mean, if I could go to the premiere of it, then I would go to the premiere over the Super Bowl. But since it would just be me going to a theater here, and that's weird and creepy, I'll probably just watch the Super Bowl.
Interesting. Didn't know when we asked that question you had been to the premiere of the most recent Magic Mike movie.
It was everything. It was everything. Hooting and hollering. I mean, it was just, I forgot where I was for a second because I thought these people would behave themselves, and they did not.
I think
Magic Mike demands you do not behave.
It's such a ride.
It really demonstrates that socially acceptable porn is a genre that a lot of money can be made there.
Dude, there's no peen in it. It's just chests. Yeah. It's like torsos, arms, legs, and some butt. Maybe. But it's more about the dancing. See,
I think all those things are enough, it seems, for women.
But that's the difference
men
between
need a little
men.
more.
No. Men and women are so different when it comes to this. Like, you guys need to see the flesh. Like, we are like, no, it's the whole show. It's the dancing. It's the imagination involved. Like, there's just more to it. For us, it's an entire production. Yeah. You guys are just like, show me your boobs. I'm like, okay, settle down, Frank.
Maybe the queen would have wanted a Magic Mike performance at her funeral instead. And then
she definitely would have.
She did like Daniel Craig. Shot out of a cannon.
That could have been something
at the end.
By the way, only the best are shot out of cannons.
That was Beadle's goodbye to ESPN.
Thank you.
Shot out of a cannon.
Toodaloo. Only the best, baby. Only the best. Okay, we're taking a really quick break, and then we're coming back to wrap things up. We are back. It looks like we have. What do we have? Voicemails, texts. What are these?
Texts.
This is a mystery to you every single week.
Well, because it's just words on a screen. There's never a voicemail.
Okay. Just
Isn't
seems like
everything just words on
you
the
ask
screen?
each time.
Because I don't know what else to do with it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Paige. Go on.
Actually, you can read the first
Oh,
one.
actually,
because
no, I'll
it's
do this
not
one. I'm
addressed
sorry.
To you. Us.
Exactly. I'm going to do it. It's Paige and Gabe. This is Pat from Chicago.
What?
Very proud of you all for doing a triathlon! Exclamation point. I am a marathon runner, so I know the struggle. What were the worst and best parts of your race? Ooh. Okay, Paige, you go first.
Okay, the worst part for me was actually the run. I thought it was going to be the swim. I took swim lessons for 3 months, just to be totally upfront with everyone. 3 months of swim lessons, solo, one-on-one swim. So I was nervous about that, but the swim ended up being pretty good, actually. Choppy water, big waves, but it was fine. The bike was by far the easiest. I had a great time on that. It was beautiful, like rolling hills, just nice time. The run, by the time that I was running, I started maybe 45 minutes after Gabe, just in my wave. It was so effing hot, no shade, and I just hit a wall.
Right.
Like my legs were so dead by mile 2.5 of 4. So that last mile and a half, I just was gritting it out. So yeah,
That's all right.
That was mine.
That's actually pretty good, though. Like 2 of the 3 being cake is big, I think.
Yeah.
Gabe, do you have a best and worst?
At best, I feel like I did pretty well, and I enjoyed it, and I got to see Paige in that part where she claimed she was hitting the wall, but she was still moving.
This is bad.
I got her in her last half mile, probably. So that was very cool to see Paige finish. The worst part is just you gotta, give up the things you enjoy for a little while if you actually want to do this well.
Yeah.
So I didn't drink for a couple weeks. You have to wake up really early a lot. So I woke up at 3:45 in the morning, and that sucks. But I don't know, Paige. You can tell this person who wrote in, you do feel like you really accomplished something big, and you usually don't know that many other people in your life who've done it. It's not that it's impossible for them to do it, but until they do, you're kind of in a small club, and that feels cool.
Yeah.
I can see
I'll brag for Gabe. He ran sub 7-minute miles or some shit. That's insane. That's not that's not me.
That's huge.
Yeah.
No.
Thank you,
It will
Paige.
be, though, on your next one.
She's
worry.
hooked, and now you're
know.
in beads. And now
I know. I told you, I've done
all
marathons
doing
and I've
it.
done half marathons.
It's so fun.
I've never done this. So I like
so
riding
fun.
a bike, and I actually like to swim. So this might be something I enjoy. Well, I say enjoy. I might not hate it. How about we do that?
Well, let's see.
start
Maybe
there.
there's a Chicago triathlon. Let's all go and meet up with Pat. And I don't know
then
if
eat
Pat's
pizza.
guy or girl, but let's meet up.
Hell yeah.
Nobody does. That's the beauty of the name Pat.
Great point.
We love it. Okay. What else? Anything?
We can respond to this one
see an
really
Austin
quickly.
number.
Unlike other major sports media, can you please discuss what a piece of human garbage Brett Favre is for stealing money from welfare children to essentially buy his daughter a new volleyball stadium? I think we can all agree that we sort of did talk about this, and yes, he is a piece of shit. Anything to
He's
add?
actually a steaming pile of shit. To be fair.
Let's launch him out of a cannon
Right?
to the moon.
No, that's for good people. We don't. No. Cannons
Into
are for the
space?
cool. Not thieves. Not disgusting, immoral thieves. Well, yeah, if I could just send them away, that'd be great. And also, I do agree in the sense of I don't feel like the outrage has been enough from the talking heads in this business. I really don't. I feel like he just got a pass, and what he did is beyond gross.
Can I bring up one person who I
Yes.
know for certain did not give him a pass? And
Yeah,
it took,
please.
I think, some guts because I'm sure he's friendly with this guy.
Ooh.
It's Shannon Sharp.
I did see that.
Shannon said,
Yes.
this is BS. T.O. should have been walking into the Hall of Fame, but the reason given was that he was a distraction, or he caused these issues, or he wasn't a good teammate, or he got in some trouble, but barely.
He did sit-ups.
all
in his front
all
yard.
these excuses were made for why we should treat T.O.'s off-field stuff as relevant.
Yeah.
None of it was fraudulent and criminal like this.
No.
It was not even fair to really question his character, but nonetheless, people did. And yet, Brett Favre is a hero and walks right in. And I think Shannon calling that out from his position,
Yeah.
who Shannon is, the network he works at, and the relationship I'm sure he has had with Brett over the years, I thought that was cool of Shannon.
Look, I listen to Sirius XM radio a lot in my car. I've talked about it numerous times, but I don't know who's not paying attention over there, but they are continuously running these ads for Brett Favre's show. And I'm like, man, somebody's either got to get a memo to somebody, or pull that shit. Whether or not you fire him or whatever you do with him as an employee, that's up to you. But at the very least, just pull the ads and maybe like not do this for a while. Personally, I would take him away forever because let's all be honest. I think we can all still sleep at night not hearing from Brett Favre on any number of topics, but that's just me. So, yeah.
I don't know. My beard is looking kind of white and kind of scraggly, and he's had good ideas on how to solve both those problems. So maybe I could use some help.
He does have use. Good to know. When he's not stealing from the poor, he's got advice. Yep, that's going to do it for us. We are going to say goodbye now. That's the worst goodbye I've ever done. What am I doing?
No, that's good. That was nice.
Am I having some sort of an episode, a medical thing happening right now? Voicemails, text 631-397-0403. We'll be back.